Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Kings of Cold podcast. Today, the ladies are taking over, and we're calling it Queens of Cold.
That's right.
I'm Melanie House. I am a co-owner of Cold Key Mechanical, a C38 refrigeration company. No, a C38 refrigeration contractor. I'm also the editor of Kings of Cold podcast, and I'm soon to be the wife of Brad Gates. Today, I have a good friend on. She's also married to Mike Mix. He's a local legend of refrigeration.
Oh, gosh.
They have been married for 25 years. She's also a mama of a refrigeration journeyman, and she's a tradeswoman herself. She is a nail tech, and she happens to be my nail tech. So please, everybody, welcome Alexis Mix.
Hi.
We're a little nervous, but we got this.
We are.
So tell everybody about who you are and how long you've been married to Mike and just a little bit about yourself.
I'm Alexis Mix. I've been married to Mike Mix for 25 years, been together 30. I have been in the trade with him basically since the beginning. He started out in a in-house facility, learned his way there, and then moved his way up to where he's at right now.
So what's great about Mike is anybody in, I'd say, Inland Empire in refrigeration, they know who Mike is. He is a local legend. And Brad got his start in refrigeration because of Mike Mix. So he is somebody that has been a big part of Brad's career as well.
Brad was his literal right-hand man because
I
Mike
love
broke
that.
his arm and Brad had to do all the arm stuff for him.
I love that. And when was that?
Oh gosh, I don't remember when that was. It had to have been 09, maybe earlier. How long was Brad in there in the previous company?
I think it was 09. So I think that's right. Okay, very good. Then tell me, so you've been in this trade as a refrigeration wife for a really long time.
Yeah.
Here. So a lot of people see refrigeration, but they don't know what goes on behind the scenes. Tell me what it's like to be a refrigeration wife.
They're gone a lot. They're on call, and when everything goes down, there's a brownout, there's high levels, everything shuts down. They're gone until that is up and fixed because everything has to be cold, obviously, because it's our food, blood, produce, all that good stuff. So he'd be gone sometime. I mean, this is in his early years. I don't know if he could do this as much anymore, but in his early years, he'd be gone 2-3 days at a time, sleeping in his truck. And we didn't have cell phones. We were landlines. Okay. He had an Nextel, which you go beep, 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 beep. But I
remember them
because I couldn't afford that. So it was a landline. So if I wasn't home and he was up north and he'd call or heaven forbid, I couldn't pay the phone bill because we weren't very wealthy then, and a landline
That's how things were
privilege.
back then.
Right. And that was with your cable. So you had to be able to afford those, and half the time I couldn't. So if I didn't get his call, I wouldn't know where he was, what he was doing, if he was okay, if something like he was alive, the whole shebang, you know?
Right. The stress of their safety, right? For me, that was always like the hardest part. So as you know, I've been with Brad about 10 plus years. And so you have, much more experience than I do as a partner of somebody in refrigeration. But in these 10 years, for me, I'm always worried about his safety, either up on roofs, in attics, on scissor lifts, in all kinds of crazy high rises and things. And then also the heat. Like sometimes they're in like extreme heat or extreme cold. And I'm always like, you can get locked in a freezer or something. Like, I'm always scared of those things, like these like extreme temperatures. And like those things, like the stress of their safety has always been my biggest like thing that makes me the most worried. But it's like you said, being on call or missed events, or I guess the unpredictability of their jobs, right?
Well, and also I had Justin, which is my son, which he's in the field also.
Right.
He's been in for 8 years, I think, 7, 8 years. I had him at a young age. And so Mike was gone for the first 8 years of Justin's life. It was me. And then when Mike come home, I'd have to put him back into the puzzle. As bad as that
Right.
sounds, that's just
No,
how
I
it
get
is.
it.
You had to put him back into the puzzle, and then he would leave the puzzle again. But, like, if something was going on with Justin, or if I was having a hard time, I didn't have him to call at that time. I would have to figure it out by myself, and
Right.
Justin is lucky he's still alive sometimes. But,
Exactly.
I mean, to
So,
this day,
how do things look different from those early days versus now? For your family, for, the beautiful life that you guys live?
yeah, I mean, there's so many years in between that. So it's
Right.
like it went from being no money, poor, living as the best you can, to now he's done very well for himself.
I mean, you guys have a beautiful life. You guys
Yeah.
travel and have beautiful home and all the things, and
Yes.
refrigeration and obviously Mike's hard work is what you have uh, to thank for that. Okay, how about what would you tell your younger self, the young Alexis Mix that had just got married to Mike and you guys were newly married and he's just starting in this trade? What would this Alexis, the very beautiful but experienced Alexis Mix, tell the young Alexis Mix?
I don't know if I would tell myself anything different, because I feel like you get the way you are because of the way you did things. I think you learn from everything you do in life.
Right.
So I don't know if I would change it. I mean, Mike is very smart. Sometimes a little too smart for his own
Right.
good, but he's so smart. So, like, and his work ethic is insane. So I don't know if I would tell myself any different, because I think
Right.
all the experiences, even with him, Justin, growing up, like, I
Get
think
it.
that's what built us to be in the situation we're in now, to have
Right.
my
You had to learn as you went. Right.
yes, and, like, I would try my hardest to understand his levels, because I even got my HVACR diploma, w and I think it was 2008, just so I could try to understand and all that good stuff,
So
like,
you're
try to
like a
understand what he was
technician
saying.
yourself.
Yes, and I know all about ammonia. I know all about, well, to a certain extent, obviously, but
Right.
I know all about ammonia. I know about electrical stuff that can go wrong. So all that stuff that I've learned makes it even more stressful of, like, what could possibly happen.
Right. And I guess I didn't even mention that is the electricity part of the like safety. So, I was talking about extreme temperatures and heights, but also ammonia, I forgot to mention, which is like super deadly.
Yeah, it
And
sucks all your moisture out immediately.
right. And we've heard, I guess, jumping around a bit, we have heard of people that they work with that have had emergencies because of refrigeration and emergencies and sadly, injuries and death because of refrigeration accidents and doing the work that they do.
Yeah, one of the technicians that Mike was very close to at one point was on a roof and was talking on the phone to Mike on speakerphone, and they were talking back and forth about electrical stuff, and fell through the skylight and passed away that day. But we were sitting next to each other when he was on the phone, and so we heard the whole entire thing. And then the person who he was employed with called and had to tell him that he passed away, and they were very close. So
Right.
yeah, there's a lot of, I mean, there's been incidents where people were in electrical panels and not had on all their gear and fried off eyebrows. Luckily, only that kind of stuff happened, but
Right.
there's a lot.
Yeah, it's very scary to love somebody probably in all in any trade, right? Because of emergencies and things, but I feel like refrigeration is super dangerous in
Yeah,
so many ways
yeah.
that
And then now
I
I have my
remember heard.
son that goes out too. I mean,
Right.
it's kind of weird because you would think I'd be so stressed out about both of them, but I think because Justin has his wife, I mean, she's starting to get used. I tease her because I'm like, you need to be home by yourself. You need to learn what it's like to be a stronger woman. And one of
That's
the
right.
other technicians' wives came up with the fridge wife lives, because you have to do so much stuff by
Right.
yourself that you're like all
Right.
proud of yourself. Like, I mowed the lawn today because the husband, you know, like,
Right.
yes.
Right. I mean, you're holding down the fort, you're handling everything at home, all the things that happen in your household, your kids, and worrying about your partner, like it's a lot.
Yeah. It's a lot. And then I hear all the stories too, like,
And then that's the thing is, like, then they come home and kind of unload on us, right?
yeah,
And it's a lot to take on.
yeah.
So that leads me to my next question. What do tradesmen not realize about their partners?
They need strong partners. They need
Right.
a person who will understand that that is their lifestyle. I mean, you can't be in this industry and not take it very personal because then you will get hurt. I mean, I've heard all the stories of people getting electrocuted and
Right.
some are funny and some are not.
Right.
And, like there's a bunch of stuff. I mean, Mike will have like his little bottles and he'll like make sure that they're tight or whatever in a little cup. And I'm like, oh God, it's so strong.
Right.
And you're like, they can withstand so much more, obviously.
Right.
But
Because they're
I
used
mean,
to it.
yeah, it's a lot. Yeah. Like, I mean,
I get that.
when we first started, we didn't have any money. I mean, we were living paycheck to paycheck. We'd write bad checks to the grocery store. And then he went from a couple companies to the company he was with the longest. And that's where a lot of my memories are, is because that
Mhm.
company, it was only about 5, 6 people at the time. So he was always being called out all the time, nonstop. I mean, he was gone Vegas, San Jose, San Francisco, you name it, he was everywhere. And I got to go later on down the road. I got to go a couple times and stay in Vegas with him. And that company actually treated us very well for a long time. So he would help us out and let me and Justin go with him for the weekend so that we could see each other.
And that's a company that I met you when our guys were employed at that company, and that's
Right.
when we became friends. And I mean, gosh, that was already like 10 years ago, which is pretty
That
hard to
was the
believe.
greatest. Look at us now.
And my nails have been so great since. What makes you proud about this trade?
I think you just have to be really super like educated. Like your work ethic has to be insane. So I
Right.
think whoever's in this industry is just the hardest workers.
Right. I believe they call it an elite trade because
Mm.
and not to discredit other trades, of course,
No,
but
no.
this one is just so specialized, right?
Right. Because you can't just have some Joe Blow walk into a cold storage facility and be like, I'm going to
Mhm.
start this thing back up. It doesn't work that way. Like, I mean,
Right.
when we were younger, Mike would take, Mike was so freaking nice to me. And he would take me to a facility. And this is when I was like way younger. But he would
Right.
take me to a facility. He's like, you have to come see what's inside this freezer. And I'm like,
Right.
okay. And so I had on a skirt and a shirt. And he's like, oh, by the way, it's a blast freezer. And I'd walk in and I'm like, oh my God.
I've been in some of those freezers. They are so cold. I'm like, no, thank you.
I think blast freezers are like negative 20 or 40 or something like
Fuck
that, and I'm in a
that.
skirt and a shirt, like, trying to be all cute. This is before Justin, but I mean, right before Justin, but yeah, he thought it was so funny. But I've been to a couple of the accounts, and I've seen the massive amount of machinery they have to work on, and it
It's no joke.
no, with, like, Matt that was talking about how he fell off the pipe that he's working on, like,
Right.
they're up there so high. I don't understand. And then my husband has no fear of heights
No
whatsoever. None.
fear.
None.
Well, you know what else about Mike is he's super humble.
He is. He's very humble.
He's very humble. I mean, he's like the baddest ass tech around, and he's so humble. So it's really cool to have met him and watched Brad be mentored by him and see how their careers have changed and grown, even in the last 10 years.
Oh yeah, Brad. I'll always remember when he bought Brad in because he broke his arm, and he's like, and he was talking about Brad being at another facility. Was it? I think he was at another facility,
He
and
was.
he's
He
like,
was the like in-house guy, I believe, or something.
yes, and he's like, "Well, I'm gonna bring this guy on, and I'm gonna make him do all my arm work." And I'm like, "Oh, this poor guy has no idea what he's getting himself into." But I mean, Brad has always done really well. Loves Brad to death. Mike has a lot of friends in the
Oh
industry.
yeah. Oh yeah. I feel like all his friends are somehow related to refrigeration.
Yes, yes,
Like a lot of them.
yes.
Not all, but the
No, yeah.
majority of them.
I'm gonna say 90% of them. Yes, yes.
Right. I agree with that. And we're all camping. I'm like refrigeration guy, AC guy,
You're with this
refrigeration.
one, you're with this one, you're with this one. Okay. And then most of the time it was everyone was the same facility, the same
Right.
employer.
And now it's all a little different, right? But it's still kind
I
of cool to see them all
I
talk.
Yeah, like, I think there's only one left at the other place, but he's air conditioning. Not that I'm not
Right.
knocking it, but he's air
I know who you're
conditioning.
talking about.
Yeah, so he's the only one that hasn't switched over yet, which I think he's better where he's at anyways, because he's a little silly, but we love him.
Right. It's silly. Okay, let's see here. So we talked about how this life has helped your family. What are some other positives people don't see about refrigeration or about being a refrigeration wife?
A positive. I mean, the money's a positive. There's
Right.
no top out in this
Right.
industry. Like, you're not
Right.
union. The money never stops growing.
Right.
The IRS gets you more every year, but
Right. Right. Right.
I mean, and the benefits have been good. I know that this might be different for everybody, but the previous employer that he was at was a huge part of my life as a wife because I could call anyone in that immediate like owner, wife,
Mhm.
dispatch, all them. We were all
You were
very
really connected. Yeah.
yes, we were all very close. Spent time with all of them. If Mike was out in the field and I couldn't get a hold of him, I could call any one of those people and be like, "Hey, I just wanted to check." And those people would always answer me. And I mean, we did a lot together. They did a lot for our family with because before that company, we were with another company. We had to pay insurance for me, Mike, and Justin every month, and it was $1,000 a month. And when we didn't have any money to begin with, that was the first thing he offered us. He's like, "We'll pay your insurance." And I'm like,
Right.
"It's too good to be true.
Yeah,
Too
you're
good to
like
be."
sold.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't know." And Mike was all like, "I don't know," because it was never really taken care of. And then they took care of that, and that helped immensely. We actually started getting ahead. And Mike have been very close since the day we met. We met in high school. We've grown together. We are each other's best friend.
Yeah.
So when that person's gone, and then you have a little kid that you're trying to raise also, and then he's crazy and all he wants to do is ride his bike all the time, and I'm like, "Ah," you know? But I mean, as it went on, that employer took care of us and made sure that when Mike was successful, he kept going up the ladder, you know?
And it benefited your family more and more.
Yes, and they benefited our family for a long time. I don't think Mike regrets it either until the end, but I mean, that was our family. I mean, we went
Right.
out, we did all the um, Christmas parties and the
Those were
outing
fun.
stuff, and that's how I met you, and that's how I met
Yeah.
a lot of my friends are fridge wives also, and it's just a hard thing to stay in though, because if you're not dedicated to it and you wanna be selfish, marriage is not gonna work, period.
Okay, let's talk about Justin. So when did Justin decide that he wanted to follow in his dad's footsteps? And then how did you feel about that?
I think I always knew he was gonna go into the trade because like I said, I got my HVACR also because it's just so involved in your life 24/7. That's his whole life, so that's all he talks about. So Justin was always in those conversations too. So I think I knew he was already gonna go into it. I mean, it was a rough road to get him to that college
Right.
because he decided he wanted to have fun, you know, like any teenager would, but yes, yes. So then mom had to homeschool. So then imagine that on top of your husband being on call and gone all the time.
And
They're Yeah, so when he went to school, he did very well in school, actually, Justin did.
right.
He did very well. I was actually super shocked. I did not realize, and I don't mean this to be rude, but I did not realize he's as smart as he is until because he never applied himself in high school because, you know, that was just time to mess around, you know? So when he got into school, he did so well. He passed the first RITA exam, flying colors. Like, he did amazing. And then he got out and he went with the same company that they were all at, and then he moved on,
And here we are.
and here we are.
Okay, can you think of a funny or crazy moment that happened in regards to refrigeration?
So I remember one time Mike came home and another technician. Can we mention technicians' names?
By first names, maybe.
Okay. So him and Garrett were working, and I remember
I
they came
remember.
home and he's all, "Garrett got shocked today." And I'm all, "What?" And he goes, "Yeah, he bent over inside of electrical panel with a screwdriver and stuck it in, and I said, "No!" And he kicked him right in the shoulder across the room, electrocuted him first, got him first.
Oh my.
And then Mike was on a I remember he came home one day and he's like, or no, he didn't even come home. He called me. "You need to call the dentist." And I'm like, "Why?" And he's like, "Because I was on a forklift, or not a forklift. What are the ones with the boxes?"
Scissor lift?
Yeah, he was on the one with the boxes, like where they're in the
That's like
box.
this and then, like, goes up?
It's just that. And he was in there and he had his hard hat on. And then he was looking down and they were going up. And all of a sudden, wham, hits his head on the pipe, hits his head on his tooth on the thing, broke his tooth all the way across. He's
Holy
like,
shit.
"I
I
gotta go
didn't
to
know
the
that.
dentist. I gotta go to the dentist." So they
Was
glued it
that
back
his
on.
worst, like, injury he got from refrigeration?
Yeah, I haven't seen him ever really get hurt because he knows that you always pay attention. Like, don't ever get ahead of yourself. Don't ever think that you're better than what you are because that shit'll whoop your ass in 5 seconds flat. I mean, he's been in it so long, I think he's just grown into it, so he just knows when to draw the line.
Right, and he doesn't cut any corners with safety, like, he's always
No.
just, like, on top of that.
He's very on top of safety. He's seen things happen to other people,
Obvious.
but yeah, no. The most injuries he has is outside of work.
Usually on a dirt bike.
A dirt bike, a tree falling on his head because it's
Right.
raining. Like, that kinda stuff always happens, but at work, no, he's like it's always been somebody else. So, like, Justin was doing something and the ammonia came out and then he couldn't, so then he had to get his mat. Like, it's always somebody else, I feel like, but unless there's something I don't know and I can't remember right now.
Right. So what does a crazy day look like from your side? Like, if he has a really crazy work day, like, what does that look like for you?
So if he had a crazy work day, he doesn't have crazy work days anymore, by the way. Okay.
Well, I think
He's
that's
moved
good.
into a
I know
different
he
position.
misses kinda turning wrenches, right? But he has put his blood, sweat, and tears into
Yeah.
refrigeration. Like, it's time that he gives his poor body a break.
Well, yeah, he's still using his brain like crazy, which is
Right.
important because I don't want him to just stop.
Right.
But a crazy day would have consisted of, let's just say, an account went down and it's
Mhm.
2 o'clock in the morning. Oh no, I'm gonna rewind that. It'll go
Go
down
ahead.
at 11, and then he would go out to fix it. It would be fixed, and then another one would go down, and then he would go out to fix that one, and he would just continuously be going, coming, going, coming, going, coming, and then trying to sleep, and then me trying to keep things quiet and trying to let him sleep and fill in the gaps so that he could actually continue to work
Get
throughout
rest,
the
right?
day because it's never ending. I mean, if we
No.
have power outages, all the plants brown out. So they're all down and then you got to restart everything and then if they high level and then you got to restart, like there was always ones that had ice cream and they would blow a load and then they'd be
Right.
gone for hours, and I remember the calls. "Oh god, so and so went down, we gotta that's gonna take forever." And then if someone wasn't as
Experienced.
into that, yeah, experienced for that particular account, then you would have to switch the people. It's just a lot. I feel like I don't know if it's because it's so long ago,
Right.
because, I mean, the last 5 years has been different.
Right.
Trying to think of things like I wanna make this fun.
I'm having fun.
I will everyone
Like, so
watching us be having
yeah,
fun.
right. Um,
Yeah.
well, Mike has such, like you mentioned earlier, work ethic. Like, he is so dedicated to this trade and to the work that he does and the responsibility that he really it, like, matters to him. Like,
Oh, 100.
he, like, eats,
He's
sleeps,
going
breathes
to
it.
do that account. So, for instance, now he is in a position where he's more on the engineering side. Mike has built so big of relationships with so many people that now he's bringing this into the engineering side. So, like, from start to finish, regardless if it's his job or like if he's doing the work or if he's just doing engineering, he will never let that go because to him it's important to start and to finish at the
Right.
best of your ability. So that it's very important to him.
That when I'm getting my nails done and he's on the phone the whole time and I'm like, "Isn't he off work?" "No, no, he's on the phone, he's sending texts, he's"
Yes.
it's a big part of his life even when he's not
Yeah.
on the clock, right?
Right. And with the engineering part, it's not as much as it used to be before. He'd go on vacation and he'd be in the corner talking to whatever facility needed him and him trying to get guys out to that facility while he was on vacation. I mean, none of our vacations for the first 20 years, for the first 15 years, probably were never a vacation for him, honestly.
Right.
And I just people are like, "How did you always let him be on call?" I'm like, "Why didn't let him? That's his job. Like, that's what pays our bills. That's what
Right.
he's worked so hard to become is a good technician and good to his customers, you know?" And
Right.
he's still like
And
that to this day.
to the people that he's a supervisor for too. Like he
Yes.
also, I want to touch on that like, because he was Brad's supervisor for a long time too. And it's like he takes care of his guys. Not only does he take care of the facilities, but he takes care of his guys. And
Yeah,
that's so important too.
his team is very important to him because that's who makes him who he is also because he has
Right.
a good team and then they can all call each other. So no one's left in the dark on his team is what he tried very hard to do.
And he's brought a lot of people into the trade.
He has. He's brought a lot of people into the trade. A lot.
And
Yeah.
those people all are flourishing and have really great lives. And this trade has provided so much for so many people.
Yeah, and they've all been people that have actually ran with it, which it's very hard. I mean, you either have it or you don't. That's the end of the story. I mean, you have to have the work ethic. You have to be willing to dedicate your life to it. And yeah, and I mean, my other fridge wife friends are like the one technician that was on here already. She does stuff all the time and she'll send me messages. Look what I did all by myself, and I'm like, that's right.
That's
Like
right.
that's how we've been. I mean, so.
So these strong tradesmen need to have a strong wife behind them.
100%. They have to have a strong wife. I feel but you kinda have to make it about them a little bit more than some people would. I've had a lot of friends walk away from me because of how much I support my husband. But, like,
Right.
my work is at home, his work is out in the field. So, like,
Right.
if I'm not gonna support him, then why would he support me, you know? So that's just the way I look at it. But some people didn't like that. Some people didn't like that I was like that. I lost friends because of that. So
Right. And I was gonna say, I wonder if we could chat about any drama that we've had with any refrigeration wives. I don't know. I don't have any. I don't have any drama.
I mean, when I have drama, I'm just like, "Guess what? Snip, snip."
Oh,
But,
she's brutal, folks. She's brutal. I'm always scared of pissing her off because I'm like, I don't
you
want
could
her to cut me off. No, I'm kidding.
you could never.
No problem. I'm just like, I've seen that happen though.
And I mean, a lot of
Right.
my friends, okay, 95% of my friends are from refrigeration,
Right.
so yeah.
So it's giving you guys so much more than just like we talked about the money and the life and the benefits, but like your guys' social life and social circle is revolves around refrigeration. A lot of it does, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, some people that aren't in it probably get annoyed, but at the
Oh,
same time,
I'm sure I'm
Justin has it easier because when Mike was coming up, there wasn't that many technicians. So if
right.
someone was going on call, no matter what, it was Mike. Mike was gone. Justin doesn't, and they have FaceTime. Like I didn't have FaceTime. I didn't
Right.
have cell. So like
No.
they can call each other and be like, "Oh hi, blah blah blah," and I'm
And
over
they're
here
like, what
like,
is this? Like, what is this like switch or something, right?
"Yeah." Now it's like, no. Now they're just like they have it way too easy. I know they don't think so, but they have it a lot easier.
So we talked about how, you wouldn't really give yourself any advice. Were there any mistakes that you guys made along the way that you wish you could have changed or no?
I don't think there were mistakes. I think we just learned who had your back and who didn't. Like certain companies that he was with before
Right.
the longest company, we learned like that they were just money hungry. So, and they took a lot from us. That's how we ended up. We were poor, then we got a little bit okay, and then this company took a lot of money from us, and then we moved on to the next company. But I mean, it's all learning. It's so hard to be like, oh, you have to do it this way. Things are just so different too. Like you don't. Like I said, everyone has FaceTime. Everyone had
Right.
like my husband didn't have any of that. So when he was in a
Right.
facility and shit was hitting the fan, he couldn't call and be like, "Hey, help me with this king valve or whatever compressor or
Right.
whatever."
Filter dryer. I don't know.
Yes, yes. Everything my answer to everything is
Compressor. Compre-
high head pressure. Well, blah, blah, blah. Oh, high head pressure. Sometimes I'm right. Sometimes.
I'm always like, let me guess the part he's talking about something, and I'm like, compressor, condenser. I don't know.
XV valve, is that what it's called? I don't know.
DXV, low
Chin valve,
pressure, blah, blah.
dirty filter. I don't
What
know.
did he say? Thermistor. He said something, they call it a thermistor. And I was like, that's a funny word.
Yeah.
What do you think Mike would be doing if he wasn't in refrigeration?
Oh my, I have no idea because it's the person who taught him, well, okay, the person who got him into refrigeration, we still talk to him to this day, but I think that's just where he fell because before that, when we were in high school, he had like jobs at the in-house facility that made Taco Bell hot sauce, and he'd come home and I'd be like, oh my God, you stink so bad. Like the spices
Right.
were so strong. But it was never something he didn't want to do. Like as soon as he hit refrigeration, as soon as he started learning it, that was it. That was his thing. Like he
Right.
he grew up in a hood town. Okay. He's hood, just like your husband.
Brad
Our
too.
husbands are hood. They might not look like it, but they grew up hood. So like when that person taught him refrigeration, which we love him, his name's Butch, he just ran from there. It sunk in and he's never even thought about going to a different occupation ever.
Right. Like this is what he was made for.
Yeah. And all those numbers that just stick in his head and he walks into a facility. And to this day, people walk into a facility and be like, I saw an oil filter that you changed in 1998. I'm all, okay, let's not age him too well. Like, I mean, he has whiteboards that are up and that say his last name and that he's done this, this, and this. And like, he can walk into a facility that he hasn't been in like 10 years and be like, two has a gas leak at the right corner of the thingamabob up in the roof. Like he knows that. It's insane. Justin thinks it's hilarious. Justin loves it. Justin's like, hey, Dad, I went to here. What do you think? He's like, oh, that's so-and-so. And Justin's like, yeah, you still remember.
Mhm. That's so cute that Justin gets to like follow in his footsteps, but also like find his way in all of it, but like have his dad as like the best. It's better than the internet. It's better than anything, like
Yeah.
as a resource, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And not only his dad, but his dad's friends, like Matt and Brad, and like
Yeah.
this is a big group of experts for sure.
And he blended in just as good as Mike did. It's so weird to me because they both just got into the industry and it was just like that was it. That was their thing. Justin has grabbed on tremendously and he's super smart at it too. And I don't know if a lot of people have accepted that quite yet because I'm sure it's hard for Justin to be
Right.
J
To
Mix the
right,
junior,
right. The junior mix, right?
Yeah, he he doesn't like being called a kid. He is a
And we call
kid,
them our
but
kids, right? He's our
right,
kid.
but he doesn't like when a person at a facility is like, "Oh,
Right,
you're a kid," and he's like, "No, I'm not.
right.
No, I know what I'm talking about." And I'm gonna say at least 80% of the time he probably does. They're never educated all the way.
Of
There's
course, there's
always
always
stuff.
something more to learn. Even
Yeah,
I'm sure Mike still learns things here and there once in a while, right?
yeah. Or if he's not, Justin's learning it from Mike. So
Right, right.
that's that. I mean, they talk about it all the time. So, and I'm just over in
Your
the corner
family
going,
dinners are just like all talking about your
and
your
I'm in the
friend
corner. Oh,
groups,
high head
your
pressure.
family.
Well, oh, high head
You can't
pressure.
get
No, no, mom,
you can't
not
get away
this
from
time.
it. So you might as well be a technician yourself.
If I could lift that shit, I would be. I would be.
Why don't you think women are in the trade of refrigeration? Because of like the heavy lifting of it all, like the
Yeah. I
hard
think
physical.
I think it's the physical. I
Hmm.
can't ever see a woman I've never seen a woman in the field. I've seen women on the office parts of it and doing that
Right.
part of the job.
Doing refrigeration, like working for companies
Yeah.
or sales, right? Or safety stuff,
Correct.
teaching, right?
That's what
But
I would do.
doing the
I would love to be the safety person. I probably wouldn't be like,
same.
but I think it'd be so much fun to walk in and be like, "Where's your hard hat and your harness?"
Where's your like orange vest? Like, where the hell
Yes.
is it?
Where's your goggles? Where's your PPE?
Right.
Come on, let's get it. Let's go. Like I would like to do that because I know so much about all those safety things that like the whole electrical thing scares me because that probably scares me more than ammonia because I feel
Really?
like that could be a faster mistake than the ammonia leaks.
Right. Checking like the voltage, blah, 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 whatever. But like making sure things are off when they're working on them and all that stuff.
Because the panels are huge and there's like
Right.
a gabillion plugs or whatever you want to call them. And
Right.
turning on and off the power main, like that thing will annihilate
It's
you to
scary.
dust.
Yeah,
Dust.
scary. I
Watch
guess
Judy and you'll see it.
I'm not watching that shit. So would you say that's the hardest part is just, like, being scared for their safety?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, Mike's so confident and he knows all the safety stuff. I think I'd never really been like, "Oh god." Now as I get older, actually, as I talk shit right now, because if Mike sees this, he's gonna talk shit to me. But now that he's with a different company, I'm like,
Right.
"Hey, when you go out of town, I need you to like." We still act like we don't have cell phones, okay? I think because that's just
Right.
the way it goes when you get older. You know? Like, I'm like, "You need to text me when you're coming home." And
Oh,
he's like,
yeah.
"Why? I'm driving." And I'm like, "But you're 4 hours away. I just wanna
Right.
know that you're gonna make it home okay." And he's like,
S I'm always like, "Let me know when you're down off the roof. Let me don't know
"Right,
when you're out of the the freezer. Like, just I don't care what you're doing, just let me know you're safe." Right?
right." And I'm like, and with the new companies with, I haven't got to be as close yet. I'm trying,
Right.
but, like, it's
To
new.
the to the other folks, right.
He's only been there a year, so it's like I'm trying to work my way in there, but they already have their clique, and I know
Right.
how that feels because we had our clique. Like,
You were the click. You were the click girl.
I think that's why it's so hard for me to be like, in this new place, I'm like, "Nobody likes me." And that's another thing is, like, switching companies. Mike was with the other company for 20 years, and that was our
So
fam
long.
and then to
Right.
switch to a new company, and I feel like I'm the outcast, which I don't wanna have that feeling anymore, and I know eventually it'll
You're the
build.
new one. Right, and you're
Yes,
new. That's why. You guys are
and
new.
I don't like that because
Well,
I'm
because you like to
older and
be,
I
like, the head chingon lady of, like, "I'm Alexis Mix. Come talk to me. I'm
don't you
Alexis
know
Mix."
who I am? No, I'm just kidding,
Do you
I'm
know who
just
I
kidding.
am?
I'm
Literally,
not.
I was like, "Ooh, I'm nervous. I'm gonna be meeting Alexis," because I heard so much about you. I mean, this is, like, 10 years ago, but
Look at how much
you were in
we're
charge.
so close now too. Look at us.
I know. I love it.
See
I
people
do
at
love
this new
that.
company, am cool.
Look how nice she is. And they'll watch this, by the way.
I know, that's why so I'm putting in the hint. "Hey, guys, bring me in
What's
your
in
clique."
store for you guys? What's next for you and Mike? I mean, he wants to do this for the rest of his life. Like, what do you guys think is going to happen next?
Well, I mean, his plans is to be at this company until he retires. That's our set goal is for him to be here at this company until he retires. I would love for that to happen because I want Mike to build another family. I think that's important. I think it's important for him to have a family outside of his family also. So I'm hoping he stays here. As it stands right now, everything's good. He's very happy. He's not
Right.
as stressed out as he was before, but that could be because of the different form of occupation of it. So,
Right.
but sometimes I think he misses being in the field.
Getting dirty and bloody and all
Yeah,
the things. I'm
he
sure he
likes that.
does.
Then he comes home and he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna tear apart this." I'm all, "No!" We're taking a little mini refrigerator out of our motorhome. And I'm like, "Oh, well, we can sell it." And he's like, "No, I'm gonna put it in my shop." And I'm like, "Why?" Like, why?
It,
So any advice for a fridge wife life?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any
Yeah.
advice for a fridge wife life?
You just gotta stick by your man. Um, it's
Stand by your man.
dangerous. Stand by your man. All the benefits that come with it are worth it. When your husband's out in the field or your boyfriend or whatever, your significant other's out in the field and they're working at a facility because they've been called in, you don't call them 5 million times because every time you do, you take away their concentration from the stuff that's dangerous at the moment. They need to be able to focus and figure out what's going on because they are working with a lot of dangerous substances, you know?
Right. No, that's great
Um, me and
advice.
me and Mike do we don't talk during the day otherwise too, so when he comes home, he has something to talk about, but I don't ever bug him. I don't ever call or text him unless it's absolutely necessary, but that's a very big thing. They lose concentration, so you gotta try and keep your life contained with you, and you handle it so that they can focus on what they're focusing on and not get
Yeah.
hurt,
I
you know?
love that. I
Yeah.
love that.
If they're not answering, there's a reason why they're not answering while
Right.
at work, you
Right.
know?
Right.
It's not because they're trying to ignore you and make you
Right.
pissed off.
Right. No, I
You're
agree.
supposed to be
Well,
sweet all the
you're
time.
such a good wife.
I try.
Well, thank you, Alexis, for coming on the show. This was so much fun for Queens of Cool.
Yes, we're gonna have to find some other fridge wives and maybe we can work together
Yeah, we'll have a good time.
on